You're listening to Blue Line Banter with Tristyn and Mackenzie.
Well, that was kind of boring, not going to lie. The trade deadline has passed. No more trades. You want to make a trade? Can't do it. Not allowed. The NHL says no. And so we sat here in a little jockey lounge for like 3 hours with my
3 hours
with my laptop set up on a chair with the audio going, watching the DFO live stream, and like nothing happened. There was the ranting and stuff, but like everyone kind of saw that coming.
And honestly, it was kind of overdone. And I didn't really care anymore because it kept me up until 12:30 last night. And I didn't really care to know where drama queen Mikko Rantanen was going because I was kind of mad at him. And I was kind of mad at Elliot Friedman for also doing that to me.
Yeah, that's fair. I spent my night watching grown men in Boston play Bop It for most of the night. That's where my attention went. But I'm just going to sit here. Probably should have had this ready to go. But it's a vibes episode, people. Mac is sick. I don't want to be here at school anymore. But we're doing this for you because we love you.
I am truly hanging by a thread right now. My first full day back to classes was yesterday. And the only thing keeping me going, really, was thinking about Brad Marchand coming to Edmonton and thinking about how Arvidsson could just waive his no-move clause. And then we could get Brad Marchand, and then we could have a line of either Kane, Perry, Frederick, or we could have a line of Kane, Marchand, Perry.
Yeah.
And now all my dreams and hopes are crushed. And I can't live in that fantasy land anymore.
No, she cannot because, unfortunately, in the final minute, the dying hour, the twilight, the witching light?
The witching hour.
The witching hour, that's
Yeah.
it. In the witching hour of the deadline, he gets moved to the Florida Panthers.
Who were quiet the entire deadline. Like a couple small moves. Nothing like major.
No, 100%. But last deadline, all they did was go and get Vladimir Tarasenko. Really?
That's true.
And they won a cup. Now they got Marchand. So I guess we'll see.
I know we were just saying, like, Florida isn't the same team. And they did move out, like, quite a few guys. And, like, Matthew Tkachuk is hurt. And Bobrovsky is not the same as he was last year.
Yeah.
Still kind of scares the shit out of me. Glad they're in the East and not the West. But also, the West is going to be a fucking gauntlet, to be completely honest.
Well, okay, the Pacific, not so much. Because Vegas didn't load up. They didn't do anything. I'm keeping an eye on things as, you know, the kind of trades that go in at the last minute. But I'm not seeing anything from Vegas. I know they tweeted hi, so I'm keeping an eye out for that. But nothing from them. LA didn't do anything.
No.
Who's the wildcard teams? Vancouver, Calgary? They didn't.
Yeah, and they didn't do anything.
So coming out of the Pacific should be ours.
I suppose, okay, it's not the Pacific, it's the Central that I'm worried about.
The Central, all the teams in the Central loaded up. But guess what? We only have to face one of them.
True. And, like...
They have to fight each other before they come to us. We only have to get the one who's gone through that gauntlet, who's beat up and broken and bruised.
The ones I'm scared of the most
also,
are...
don't mind me, I'm eating, guys. My deadline went through lunch.
Honestly, like, the two that I'm scared of are Dallas and Colorado because they went crazy. They went off.
Yeah, okay.
And, like, Winnipeg, I get it. They got their second-line center.
Yeah. So,
but...
I think I think we should go through, kind of start at the morning.
Yeah, we're kind of, like, jumping ahead.
We're jumping ahead. I think we should... So, we'll talk about the two Oilers moves specifically later in the show when we get to our Oilers talk.
Yeah.
So, we're going to skip over those. So, like, I think you could almost start back, you know, March 1st. There's the Seth Jones-Spencer Knight trade.
Which we all knew was coming.
Yeah, the Vitek Vanacek and Patrick Gills swap, whatever. There was the big trade of Tampa Bay and Seattle.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay getting Yanni Gourde, Oliver Bjorkstrad, Kyle. Oh God, how am I going to get this? Kyle Aucoin? Sure, and a 5th-round pick. Seattle gets 2 first rounds, a 2nd round, and they retain 50% of Gourde. That was a big trade. 2 firsts in any trade is usually big. For Yanni Gard, Oliver Bjorkstrad, I guess Tampa valued those guys at that price, and Seattle gets 2 firsts, and honestly, good for them because they need it. Because
Yeah, and I think Tampa sees something that the rest of us don't.
they must. I mean, like I know Yanni Gard was one of the marquee third line centers on the market. Oliver Bjorkstrad is a solid middle six winger.
Yeah.
And that's really what they need. They've got Kucherov, they've got Point, they've got Gensel and Hedman and Vassy and everything else.
Yeah. Kucherov,
I said Kucherov.
did you?
I think so.
I don't think you did.
No, I went Point, Kucherov. It doesn't matter. Kucherov's there too.
I'll stop distracting you.
No, it's A-OK. Yeah, let's just... There was a bunch of random minor stuff that came out, like, yesterday, like... well, not minor stuff. I think we'll start at yesterday, because there were some big things. So, there was the Nico Strum for a 4th, or Florida getting him, and San Jose getting that 4th. There was the Riley Smith going back to Vegas from New York for Brendan Brisson. Brisson? Sure. And a 3rd. That was fine. Chris Drieger and Capo Kapanen goalie swap between the Jets and Panthers. Nothing really there. Carson Soucy. What'd you say?
Carson Soucy, Team Miller confirmed, obviously, because he went to the Rangers and waived his no-move clause to go.
Absolutely. And it does sound like Miller was the one who recruited him to go to...
For sure.
Like
Miller is going to drag the Rangers into the playoffs himself. And you know what? As he should, because the amount of bullshit that he's put up with this year and gone through, like, get this man into the playoffs, please.
yeah, so Soucy goes to the Rangers for a 3rd, which it was definitely a seller's market this year.
Yeah.
Guys were going for prices that I thought were absurd. But when you think about it, like, there's just the price of doing business this year.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Honestly, I didn't hate it.
No, I think it's like 3rd's fine, but I think you also probably, the way he's played this year, not worth a 3rd. Not regularly, anyway.
Not regularly, but also that Vancouver, the position they're in as well.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of teams were playing into that. And can you blame them? No.
Well, I think they might, they probably could have paid like a 4th, but...
Probably.
It's fine. Obviously, a lot of swirling going on last night around the Oilers acquiring defenseman Jake Wallman from the Sharks. We'll get into that trade a little more in depth later, but they gave up a conditional first-round pick in Carl Berglund, a ECHL prospect. Good trade. I really liked it. And again, we'll break it down. Then we go into later that night. You had the Wild acquiring Justin Brazeau from Boston for a couple of prospects and a 6th.
The Boston Bruins were big sellers.
Big sellers.
Like, I know we haven't gotten into the other trades yet, but it feels like they really gave up a lot this trade deadline. And unless they're willing to, retool, and find ways to retool without rebuilding, they're not in a great spot.
I think they have to rebuild. I don't really see a way for them to retool.
No.
I feel like they're kind of stuck in a Calgary situation where they have mid players on big contracts, i.e. Lindholm and Zadorov. And, don't get me wrong, Pasternak is sick.
Pasternak is so good.
Now he's just going to be wasting away in Boston.
100%. And you just had, this massive contract for Jeremy Swayman as well, who hasn't been at the level that he said he would be at.
Yep.
And then Charlie McAvoy as well. He's a good defenseman and had a good 4 Nations, but I don't see him being a top 5.
No, I don't see it.
Maybe top 10 on the lower end of top 10.
I don't even know if he's in the top 10 defensemen.
I know. That's just me being nice, honestly.
Yeah, I could sit here and go through a list, but that's not what we're here for right now. We're here for trades.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
No, you're allowed to go on your little tangents. I don't care. But I'm not going to sit here and try and list all the defensemen I think are better than Charlie McAvoy. So we get to the first big trade of the morning, I guess, drops at 12 a.m. exactly. You had the New York Islanders acquiring a first-round pick, a conditional third-round pick, Callum Ritchie and Oliver Shillington, and the Colorado Avalanche acquire centerman Brock Nelson and right winger William Dufour. Obviously, Brock Nelson was the best number 2 center on the market. He
For
was
sure.
the guy that a lot of teams were looking at, and Colorado was not one of the teams I was expecting to look. Winnipeg, Toronto, even Dallas. I was not expecting Colorado, but it makes sense. They've been chasing that 2C ever since Kadri left.
But also, I wasn't expecting them to give up
Oh, yeah.
as much as they did for Brock Nelson. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah, a first-round pick, a third-round pick, and you're like a top 50 prospect in the league.
Yeah.
Callum Ritchie.
yeah,
Callum Ritchie suddenly, like, it becomes their best prospect. This is honestly like when the Oilers got Savoy. In terms
For
of,
sure.
like, just becoming your best prospect.
for sure.
It's insane. And, like, that came out, like, right at midnight tonight. As
Yeah.
the...
You know what? Know what I have to say about that? I don't like you, Elliot Friedman. I don't like you, Mikko Rantanen. And I don't like you, Mikko Rantanen's GM or agent. Because some of us have to be up at 5:30 in the morning. And some of us really like to know what's going on in these trades. And some of us can't fall asleep until we know the details of these trades. And some of us couldn't fall asleep until almost 1:30 because they didn't know the details of these trades. And now they are exhausted and even more sick than what they were supposed to be and sound like this.
Yeah, that's terrible. That sounds awful. I mean, I was up late too, but I was watching guys in Boston play Bop It. So...
I wish I would have thought of that. It would have made it more enjoyable.
Yeah. Shout out What Chaos. Love you guys.
Yep.
Bean Principe.
Yep. That's our boy.
So continue on. Oh, you have something?
I was just going to say Mikko Rantanen, confirmed diva.
Mikko Rantanen confirmed diva. He's in his diva era.
He is in his NFL wide receiver diva era, honestly. Like, that is what this whole situation reminds me of.
Sorry, I'm just sitting here looking through things going on post-deadline as deals continue to move in, and there's just a few that... Fabian Zetterlund going to Ottawa.
Okay. I saw, like, a couple tweets about that before.
How about Shea Weber's contract being traded?
What?
Yeah, Shea Weber is still under contract in the NHL. He's been sitting on Arizona to get them to the cap floor for the past few seasons. Now Utah, and Utah's now traded that to Chicago, along with some other things for the rights to goaltender. Chicago gets Shea Weber, Atu Rati, and the rights to Victor Soderstrom. And I don't know what Utah's getting in return. Henry Yokohara to Boston potentially, but it might not have gotten done in time. Fraser Mitten is going in the Carlo deal. Back to Boston from Toronto.
Who is, sorry?
Fraser Mitten. One of their top prospects.
Okay. Shea Weber has been traded to the Chicago Black... Oh.
Yeah, the Shea Weber contract.
Yeah. Obviously.
And it sounds like Vegas was just doing a bit of trolling and did nothing.
I hate them. I hate them so much.
But I've gotten a little out of order. We're going to go back to the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Islanders immediately flip Oliver Shillington to the Anaheim Ducks for, honestly, future Hall of Famer, future considerations.
Yeah.
That guy gets around, but he's a stud.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh gets a second-round pick, and the Capitals get Anthony Beauvillier. I asked Mac to look this up for me because I was lazy and she was on her phone. He's been on 4 different teams, was it, in the last 3 seasons?
Yep.
That dude gets around.
Well, it was like 3 different teams in one season.
Yeah. But
so,
hey, you know what? I can cherry pick my stats. Thank you.
Should I read it again? Let me see.
It?
Give me 2 seconds.
Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one real quick.
Just kidding. I have it. Okay. So, he did start out in the Islanders, and he was on the Islanders for 7 years. Mm-hmm. And then played on the Canucks for 2 seasons.
He was part of the Bo Horvat trade.
Yes. So he played on the Canucks in the 22-23 season and then the 23-24 season and only played 22 games in 23-24. Went to the Blackhawks, played 23 games, and then went to the Predators, played 15 games, and then went to the Penguins. So, yes, that is
Gets around.
4 teams in the last 3 years,
Damn.
which is insane.
That would suck. I'd hate that.
Imagine like how small like your life is, like how minimalist your life is now.
Absolutely. Everything fits in a suitcase.
For sure. Sad to think about, honestly.
Moving on. 12:08 p.m. We get Philadelphia trading Andrei Kuzmenko to the LA Kings. I lied. LA did one thing.
They did
They
do
got
one thing.
Andrei Kuzmenko and a 7th round pick, and they gave Philly a 3rd round pick, and Philly returned 50% of Kuzmenko's contract. Kuzmenko obviously not having the year he wants to.
Yeah.
LA looking for middle 6 depth. I don't hate it.
No,
It also doesn't make me any more scared of them.
Yeah. No, not at all. And like that was one thing that like back in November or December when we played LA.
Yeah.
This was a while ago and we had beat them and they were calling for like this middle 6 forward. Like they've been needing it so badly and they've been asking for it.
Yep.
So I'm not surprised it happened.
It feels like a very 2021-22 Oilers move.
Yes.
Where they just like they need something in the middle 6, so they just like trade a 3rd for a guy and hope he works.
Yeah.
Then we get into one trade that has me absolutely baffled. The Ottawa Senators acquired Dylan Cousins, Dennis Gilbert, and a 2nd round pick from the Buffalo Sabres in return for Josh Norris and Jacob Bedard-Docker. And while it's not that crazy of a trade because Norris and Cousins kind of just swap, and then I guess Docker and Gilbert, but how did Ottawa get a 2nd out of this?
I do not understand, and I need to know like how this went down.
So the only way my brain breaks this down is Cousins and Norris are a wipe.
Yeah.
And then what Buffalo paid for was a 2nd in Gilbert. My bad. Still had my audio on from when I was watching the stream. Ignore that. They gave up a 2nd in Gilbert for Bernard Docker, and Bernard Docker's just that good of a prospect, I guess.
I guess.
That's
Like
the only way it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I if you guys are big Bernard Docker fans, let me know. You can DM me.
If anybody knows his like under the hood stats, please let us know, because I'm not looking that up.
No, me neither. And then we are going to move on to the big boy trade of the deadline, because that is next chronologically here. The Dallas Stars acquire and extend Mikko Rantanen with an 8-year, $12 million contract. And Carolina, obviously, getting the trade. Get Logan Stankoven, which good prospect, good NHL ready guy.
Yep.
2 first-round picks and 2 third-round picks.
The return on that is actually insane because, like, you don't know how Rantanen's going to produce there. No. You don't know, like, there's so many unknowns here, and now you have him locked up for 8 years.
Yep.
And
the sign and trade midseason is so scary.
So scary. And now,
if it doesn't work, you're fucked.
Yeah, and Dallas has done so well drafting and developing, and to give up 2 firsts and 2 thirds, like, I understand, like, you have to do everything to win, and you want to win now.
And, like, sorry, not to cut
but
you off.
still,
like,
no, you're good.
Reports came out later that Oilers gave up sent in a big offer, and the only reason was Mikko wasn't willing to extend long term. So, like, they pivoted to Dallas where he would, and obviously, like, no sales tax. And he ended up coming in at $12 million, which is insane that it's gone full circle back to him signing an 8x12.
Like, all of this drama, all of it just comes full circle. Yeah. And he is making the exact same as fucking Nate McKinnon. I'm sorry, there's a $500,000 difference, but still, it's basically the exact same dollar amount. It's crazy.
Certified drama queen?
He is on
certified diva.
He is a certified diva. He is on his NFL wide receiver diva era, because those guys are the biggest drama queens I've ever seen in my entire life. You should see the shit that Tyreek Hill says. So the fact that it came all the way back to this is actually insane to me. And like, I'm just tired of it. And I do not want to hear Mikko Rantanen's name again for like the rest of the season.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, you say that we're the first team he plays on Dallas.
Yeah, we are.
Yep.
We are. Great.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Maybe the chemistry's not there yet, and he doesn't know what he's doing, and it fucks with all their lines, and they have a bad game.
I pray it does.
God, I hope it does.
We need to string together some wins.
Yeah, we do. We'll talk
Okay, we
about
can't.
that.
Yeah, we can't get too deep into that yet.
Pittsburgh Penguins trade away newly acquired defenseman Luke Schenn to Winnipeg for a second and a fourth. They wanted to keep Schenn. Schenn said, "I'm not. No, trade me." And Dubas was like, "All right." And so they get some picks back.
That's
Luke Schenn.
crazy to me. Also, that he's just like, "You think I'm staying here? I don't fucking think so." And Dubas is like, "All right, fair enough," and just gives him to a cup contending team.
Yeah.
And a team like that's exactly what they were looking for as well. Like that is crazy.
Yeah, it's. They wanted him, and Dubas is like, "Yeah, I fucked this. I fucked this up. I gotta burn it all down. Try again."
Yeah.
Moving on, you have Toronto's big. I'd say this is their big thing of the day. Getting Scott Lawton as well as a 4th and a 6th round pick. Flyers getting retaining 50% of Lawton's contract, so bringing him down to much more manageable. They get a conditional 1st round pick and Nikita Grebinkin. I don't know, guys.
Pronunciation is not a strong suit on this podcast.
There's no pronouncer next to his name. How am I supposed to know?
That's fair.
Come on, Sportsnet.
We're doing this off the fly.
I know.
You would think Sportsnet would have it.
You'd think they put... Well, no, because they're just supposed to know, oh, I'm Sportsnet. I know how to pronounce all the Russian names.
We have Elliot Friedman, and he knows how to pronounce everything.
Yeah, well, I'm in school and trying my best.
I know.
Moving on. Seattle Kraken get a 2nd round pick for none other than borderline AHL bum, Brandon Tanev.
Okay, I did not say bum.
But you know it's there.
I didn't say bum.
Okay.
I said...
borderline AHLer Brandon Tanev.
Thank you.
I did not mean to put words in her mouth, but she did.
I did. I said it multiple times today. I have to own it. Don't get me wrong. Do not know the guy. Probably a very good vibes guy. Probably really good to have in the locker room.
Absolutely.
His headshots are hilarious. But I don't think his play is like up to par on a lot of team standards. So that is my thoughts. And a 2nd rounder for him is actually crazy.
It's a seller's market. Sellers want like good prices.
Yeah.
You had the Casey Middlestad swap for Charlie Coyle. Obviously, some picks and stuff in there.
I really like that one, honestly.
It's a hockey trade. I think it's 2 guys who need new scenery.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, I know Middlestad needed a new scenery last deadline, and he got it, and now he's bad. But hey, who knows? Maybe Boston this time he'll stick.
Maybe.
They need the 2nd line center.
Charlie Coyle does make me excited for Colorado.
Yeah, but as an Oilers fan, I hate it.
I know. As an Oilers fan, I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go again. But as somebody that just enjoys watching, like, when our conference is good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And competitive, that is something that I do really like to see. So I'm very interested to see, because do we play Colorado before playoffs start?
I think we have
one more time.
I think we have another game.
So playing like a completely different Colorado team.
True. It is a very different team. Sportsnet only has 2 more trades listed here, and I know a few are rolling in, so I wonder if I hit refresh if they've updated. They have. Okay, good. There was Columbus getting Luke Kunin for a 4th. That's whatever.
Yeah.
That means nothing. Detroit getting Peter Mrazek and Craig Smith for... Detroit gets that. Chicago in return gets Joe Veleno. Okay.
I just want to know, like, why Detroit wants 3 goalies.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why Detroit wants 3 goalies. I really thought they were just going to, like, do that and flip Lyon to someone who wants a goalie. But they didn't, so whatever. You have the Cody Glass for a 3rd round pick. New Jersey gets Cody Glass. Penguins get a 3rd. They have money with Hughes on. Why not? Sure.
Yeah.
Why he's a body.
Yeah. Somebody to stick in there for
Please
the
don't
time
yell
being.
at me because we still don't know the returns on all of these. Brad Marchand to the to the Florida Panthers from Boston Bruins. What they get back, TBD. Brandon Carlo from the Bruins to the Leafs, TBD. Eric Johnson returns to the Avalanche from the Flyers, return TBD.
Oh my God. The Avalanche actually went like sicko mode.
Yep. They think
That's crazy. I'm actually like genuinely afraid of the Avalanche now.
I'm not.
And
Blackwood, I don't.
I know.
Blackwood, he's a good goalie. Don't get me wrong.
I know.
I don't know if he's ready for we haven't seen him in playoffs. Maybe he's a couple playoffs.
Maybe. Honestly,
but also their defense still. Outside their top line, I'm not scared of their defense.
That's fair.
And outside their top six, I'm not scared of their forwards. Not even the top six. Right? Like, okay, so I don't know. I'll have to look at their lineup with all the ads now.
That's fair. Also, the Brad Marchand to Florida, we were sitting in the Jock Lounge and like I convinced myself that he was going to Vegas. And seriously, Tristyn had to like talk me off the ledge.
Yeah, she was like, we're sitting on the couch. I've got the screen in between us. And she's like shaking.
Yeah. Because, and I was, like, and I said, I was like, you do not want to see what I will do if Brad Marchand goes to Vegas. Because
I believe the words walk into traffic were said.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Mom, if you're listening, I wouldn't actually do that. It was just a metaphor.
It was
only like half true. But because that was like,
understand. He went to Vegas.
Exactly. And that's such a Vegas move. And the way they were so quiet, I was like, this cannot be happening right now.
They just sat there with like 15 minutes left and
Yeah.
high. We're like, all right, they got Besser, they got Raquel, and they got Marchand.
Literally nightmare fuel. Nightmare fuel.
Turns out they were just doing a little trolling.
Yeah.
They did absolutely nothing.
And they just wanted to send everybody into a frenzy. And that is why.
Because they know they can.
Exactly. And everybody will believe it. And I fell for it. We all fell for it.
And then in the dying minutes, the buzzer goes, and we're all sitting there like, whew, it's over. But obviously, there's a bunch of things. As long as the trade is submitted before...
You know, the Wi-Fi connection's a little slow.
As long as the email is sent to the NHL registry head office thingy before, I guess, whatever time. For here
1
in
o'clock.
Mountain, it's, 1 o'clock Mountain.
3 o'clock Eastern.
3 o'clock Eastern, that's the time. Then the trade is still valid. The registry just has to take some time to sort through all the trades and do them. And that's when we learned of, Brandon Carlo to the Leafs and Eric Johnson there and Brad Marchand. And another trade I forgot to mention, Ottawa Senators getting Fabian Zetterlund, Tristan Robbins, 4th round pick. If only it was spelled my way. There's not enough Tristans in the league. San Jose Sharks get Noah Gregor, Zach, Ostapchuk?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's a weird one, and a 2nd round pick. So Zetterlund's a good player.
Yeah.
He'll help Ottawa.
Yeah.
Don't know who Robbins is. 4th round pick. Noah Gregor going back to the Sharks. Okay. I'm not seeing anything else coming through, so that's all of...
Yeah,
it was a very quiet deadline, people.
Honestly, it was a good... I will say it was a good deadline for Ottawa. I'm really curious to know, the return...
Who's the biggest winner and loser of the deadline?
Probably biggest loser is the Bruins. And
Really? I think Bruins got a lot of value for what they trade. We have to wait to see what they
I know.
get from Florida
I need to know the return on Marchand because
Carlo.
because I said this to one of our school mates that walked in right before we started recording.
Yeah.
And he's like, Carlo to Toronto. And I was like, because we both said that was one of our targets for Edmonton that we would have liked.
I would have rather Carlo than Wallman. However, I was, like a lot of people, scared the cost of acquisition was way too high.
Exactly. And I was like, if it's somebody like Matthew Nyes, I say, you know what, fair enough. you take him because
we would have had to give up Savoy.
probably.
So, no thanks.
Yeah.
I'd rather give up a first and Berglund for Wallman.
Yeah. Or, okay, I think my biggest winner is Colorado
Yeah, that's fair.
and loser Calgary, Vancouver, all the teams that did absolutely nothing.
That's fair. And I guess, like, it's not entirely fair to, like, look at the deadline because obviously, like, there's been a lot of stuff going on. Like,
Yeah.
the Rangers did their thing to get JT Miller ahead of the deadline.
Yeah.
So, like, Vancouver did a lot of their moving too. Marcus Patterson, Drew O'Connor, stuff like that.
And Carson Soucy.
But Carson Soucy gets moved. So, like, I get it. If I had to pick a winner and loser of, like, just kind of, like, the trades this year and the deadline more specifically, it's hard to say because not a lot happened.
Yeah.
I do agree with you. Colorado's a big winner.
As long as like everything works out the way it's
Yeah,
supposed
absolutely. I don't even want to call. I don't know if the Senators are winners. I think they definitely upgraded for sure. I just don't know if they gave up too much. I think.
to. I would give the Senators like a B.
Yeah, I'd give them
honestly.
a solid B. Honestly, I think Toronto might be my biggest winner.
With their one ad.
2. Scott Laughton and Brandon Carlo.
Okay, fine.
Scott Laughton is a really good 3C on Toronto. He will be. He fits the Berube system really well. He's big. He's mean. He gets in front of pucks. He's very good defensively.
Well, I don't want to give Toronto compliments, so I'm not going to.
Me neither, but I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible on this definitely biased Oilers podcast.
That's fair.
And
That's
it's
fair.
not an Oilers podcast. It's not an Oilers podcast, guys. It's not an Oilers podcast.
This is not an Oilers podcast.
It's an NHL.
It is a hockey
It's
podcast.
a hockey podcast. There we go. We just happen to know more about the Oilers. We talk about them sometimes. No, but I think Toronto did really good, especially getting Carlo at the end.
Yeah.
He really helps shore up. I'm gonna pull up their lineup as it is right now. dailyfaceoff.com. Love you. Because, yeah, right now their defensive pairings, Morgan Riley, Philippe Myers, Jake McCabe, Simone Benoit, OEL, and Connor Timmins, which I hear Timmins is going back in the deal for... God, I can't remember his
Carlo?
name. Carlo, that's it. And obviously Tanev is out.
Yeah.
But let's say going into the playoffs, Tanev's back. He's ready to roar.
Yeah, because he's only on IR. He's not on LTIR.
So your top pair is probably Tanev. I mean, it's hard for me to say because I don't watch them a lot, but I imagine Carlo is immediately on the top pair next to
Probably.
Tanev, and then you're going to keep McCabe, Benoit, OEL, Myers, or something like that. I really like that top 4 for them.
Yeah. It is like a really good decor. It is.
And then, they already have Scott Laughton. They already have Scott Laughton on dailyfaceoff.com in the lineup. So with Laughton, you're now looking like Nyes, Matthews, Marner, Holmberg, Tavares, Nylander, McMahon, Laughton, Domi, Lorentz, Kampf, Jonkrog. McMahon has torched the Oilers this year.
Yeah, he has.
McMahon, Laughton, Domi scares me a little bit. Like, I don't like to give the Leafs credit.
That's fair.
But suddenly getting Laughton, their top 9, looks a hell of a lot better. And their Carlo is going to help their defense a lot. So I don't know if they're my biggest winners. They won a lot. I'm going to give it to them just because not a lot happened and you already took Colorado.
Yeah, fair.
The only other option there is like Ottawa. And I don't think they're that big of winners. Biggest losers? Yeah, I mean, it's easy to point to Vegas or teams that kind of sat pat. I think a team like Carolina could be looked upon as a loser.
Yeah.
If they would have
fair.
and took the picks and whatnot they got from Rantanen and immediately turned it around and did what we were saying and get a Besser or Raquel, I think it would look better. Because now you got Stankoven, you've got Besser or Raquel, or maybe even both. You've got 2 firsts and 2 thirds.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you could have done it, but...
Do you want to know who has the most deadline cap space out of playoff teams?
Out of playoff teams, I think I might be able to figure this out. Hold on, let me look at the. Can I get like 2 seconds to look at the teams in the NHL?
Yes, yes, you can.
Okay, so you got Panthers, Braves, Lightning, Sens, Caps, Hurricanes, Devils. Is this like LTIR space included or?
Yeah.
Jet Stars, Wild, Avs, Golden Knights, Oilers, Kings, Flames. Not the Wild. They're in cap hell. Not the Avs. They're in cap hell. Not the Stars. I don't think it's. It might be the no. Panthers. I don't think so.
Okay, this was posted 1 day ago as well.
Okay,
so it
going
changes
into today.
Yeah. So going into today.
What conference are they in? The East.
East.
East. Okay, I was in the right conference. Was it the Devils?
Nope.
No?
They're a bubble team.
They're not a bubble team.
No, not the New Jersey.
Oh,
the team that is. They're a bubble team.
It's definitely the Blue Jackets.
Yeah.
They had like $60 million.
$86.46 million.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have to reach the cap floor after everything that happened with Johnny. R.I.P. We miss you. Whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, not whatever. That was rude. But like,
I know what
you know what I mean.
Okay, who do you think is second? We'll do the first two and then I'll like stop.
Okay.
Second is in Western Conference.
Oh, it's in Western. All right, let me go flip back. Damn. I feel like I need to talk and not think, but that stops with the thinking.
It's a team that we have briefly mentioned.
We
don't talk about them a ton.
Is it the Jets? No. We
No.
talk about them enough. Okay, so it's definitely not in the Pacific.
It is in the Pacific.
It is in the Pacific. I talk about the Pacific. It's the Flames?
Yeah.
Okay.
We never talk about the Flames.
Well, because they're irrelevant.
Yeah. Sorry. They have $81.6 million in cap space.
That's ridiculous.
Which is insane. So that's kind of crazy for a team that could be going into a wild card spot, not doing a ton at the deadline, but...
Well, yeah, I think the problem is if they go start spending assets and trying to buy, they're just stuck in the mid.
I know.
If they don't sell off, they also stay mid.
Yeah.
But they want to make the playoffs. So Calgary's in a really weird and dumb spot, and they need to just commit to the bit one way or the other.
Yeah.
You have Wolf. If you guys start wasting good years of Wolf, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I hate to admit it, but God, Wolf's a good fucking...
Oh, he's so good. He's come into his own.
Team USA next year?
Yes.
Like, I think he could bump Swayman.
I was just going to say he would take Swayman's spot.
Mm-hmm. He's that good. I know you guys don't want to hear that from me, especially considering I know a lot of you guys are Oilers fans too. Wolf is a good goalie, and he deserves some credit.
It's fair to, like, respect them, though.
That's true.
You know?
I truly do think he can make Team USA next year.
I believe that as well. Okay.
Is that, like... Do we have any more deadline things? It was a really slow deadline,
guys. It was.
I'm trying to, like, refresh to see if I can get anything on these, like, returns of... Okay, so Eric Johnson, the return to Philadelphia was Giovanni Smith. So it's a 1-for-1 swap.
And, like, fairly normal.
Yeah, that's, like, whatever.
Or
still
even, I guess.
TBD for what the Panthers and Maple Leafs
oh my God.
gave up for their stuff.
Like, I'm still, like... genuinely upset. Like, it actually has, like, kind of put
Sorry.
No.
Cut you off.
No.
Frank Saravalli tweeted, still piecing together details, but so far, it's actually a 3-team trade for Brandon Carlo. The Leafs get Brandon Carlo. The Bruins get a first-round pick and Fraser Minton. And the Let's Go Pens get Connor Timmins and Connor Dewar. So... clearly, retention's being brought in.
Oh, for sure.
But to give up Fraser Minton and... I'm pretty sure I've heard really good things about Connor Dewar, too.
I think so.
I know they still have a lot of their young NHL guys, but, like... Fraser Minton's a name I've heard of a lot of Leaf fans be, like, untouchable.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And also, like, that first-round pick going to Boston, they better pray that they can do something with it because the last, like...
Yeah, they've
5 years, they have not been able to draft or develop well. No. So
which is crazy.
they gotta
think
Take notes from Dallas because
Yeah, 100%.
holy shit, you got nothing coming down the pipeline.
Oh, Boston's own first-round pick right now is the 13th pick. They're a lottery team right now.
That's insane.
Yeah, right? The Boston Bruins, a lottery team. That's what timeline are we living in?
Literally. Okay, shall we go to...
Yeah, you know what? I think that's that. If you guys have any more things you want to hear our opinions on any trades, feel free to DM us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Blue Line Banter 24 on Instagram. Just send us a DM. One of us will answer. And if you want the other one, say so. And we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to head into the... I can never get this right on the first try. Into the intermission.
The sound of the buzzer means it's time for the intermission.
Okay, so the Ooks playoff run has come to a close, and it's a pretty sad one. They won both of their game ones on Thursday and Friday. The Ooks men's team went into overtime on Thursday night. It was one of the best games I've seen from them all season. They were just really grinding and gelling and clicking. Overtime hero was Ashton McNelly. I kind of compared him to like JT Miller in the way he plays. He's just grindy and gritty and gets under your skin and is kind of like made for games where you have to build off of emotions. So he had an unreal playoff series. And then the women's team, they won on Friday night against Red Deer. Again, a really solid performance. Both of them went to their away games, which men's team went to Clairview in Edmonton, lost. And then the women's team went to Red Deer, also lost. And I just remember being in Camrose and also still sounding like this and being like, frig, I really gotta get my poop in a group. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to speak on Sunday because we have a doubleheader. Went on Sunday and watched both of them play probably the most disjointed game I've seen either of them ever play.
Yeah, that really sucks. You were telling me about that.
It was tough, honestly.
You were telling me about that game, the first men's game at McNally, and how hype it was, and how like
it was
they
so
were
good
and ready to go and ready to get their revenge. And then you came back over the weekend. You're like, I'm sad. It's over.
It was honestly like it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to watch because like you could just see like everything kind of like crash and burn.
Yeah.
And it was just, and honestly, like it's not even like Concordia outplayed them. They just got goalied like so hard. Their goalie, he stood on his head and they were doing everything they could to crash the net, to get shots from the slot and the point and everything, and just could not get more than one. So
yeah, totally blows.
Which, and like game 3 in the ACAC is also kind of like a game 7 situation, and you have to score more than one goal
100%.
in a game like that. So yeah, playoff hopes and dreams are over.
So
And both teams have a lot of new faces.
Yep.
Like, I think it's 9 or 10 on both teams. So I think sometimes you got to learn how to lose before you learn how to win.
Yeah, that's fair.
And coming into a team like that when you're a rookie also is difficult and hard to make the jump. So I do believe that they both will come back stronger and a lot better next year and more prepared in basically every sense.
So what do we do now? Do we start covering badminton? Is that how this works?
I don't know if there's any Ooks sports
Damn.
left. Everything kind of comes to a close at the same time.
That's fair. Well, I guess into the intermission, we're going to have to start finding some other sports to cover. Stingers? They got to be coming soon.
Yeah, they'll be here soon.
Stingers,
Like
Riverhawks
8 weeks?
are in a couple, still a month or two away, but
Like 2,
2 months.
3 months.
Okay,
They don't
well,
start till
I don't know
June.
baseball.
We will find something.
We'll find
We
something
will
for
find
the intermission,
something.
you guys. Don't you
Yeah.
worry.
Also, baseball is just not the same, like, as fun to cover.
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like we should get into the Oilers. Though.
Okay, that was
I've
a
been
short
like itching.
intermission.
Yeah.
The Zamboni, absolutely, he was drifting the
Oh,
course.
was he ever?
Man, he wanted to get off that ice. He had a Tim Hortons roll up the rim waiting for him, and he needed to roll it ASAP. We'll get into some Oilers talk. Do you want us to just start with the 2 trades, get them out of the way,
Yeah,
and then we can go into kind of their play as of late?
I
Or do we want to
suppose.
just ignore the play as of late and focus on the win?
I think we have to talk about it,
We don't have to. It's our podcast. We can do whatever we want.
but we should.
Oh.
If we want to be serious
But we're
media
gonna
people
be
one day,
But we're going to be sad and angry. Or we could just be happy.
you know what? I'm not like angry because
I'm not
last
that worried
night
about
was
it.
a lot better play.
It was.
And then like the play in not the game against the Ducks, but the game previous, Carolina and Florida
Yes, I
was
actually
better.
missed the Carolina game, so
What?
I was DMing some
Oh,
in
okay,
person
fair.
D&D with my friends, and I just lost track of time. I had the score up, but like I couldn't watch it.
Fair.
All I know was like Henry got a goal or something. I don't know.
Henrik shorthand goal?
Yeah, that's it.
Fire me up.
All right, so let's talk about the 2 trades. Obviously, we had 2. One happening last night. The rumors started as we're about to go face off against Montreal. And
Literally an
it's all very
hour
confusing.
before puck drop,
Yeah, and the trade didn't actually happen until like 11 o'clock.
but everybody
game.
knew already.
Yeah, but that was because there was some weird stuff going on with the cap, and because we had people here on emergency basis. We had to wait
Yeah.
until midnight Eastern, but when the cap thing flipped up, I don't pretend to know. Okay, the insiders used a lot of big language, and it scared me.
The cap is weird and confusing, and we don't know how it works.
No, I have no idea how that works. Okay, so obviously, first trade, 3-way trade with the Oilers, New Jersey, and Boston.
That was broken to us in the middle of class on Tuesday.
We were in class, right, working on a little commercial assignment. We're writing commercials over here, and our teacher goes, "Oh, hey, the Oilers made a trade." And me and Mac look at each other, like head snap.
It's
We're like,
literally
"Who?"
like it's like in a movie when everything goes like freeze frame, and we
Yeah.
both were like, "What? We aren't supposed to be making trades yet."
No. So I'm sitting here on my laptop. If I had papers, I would have thrown them, but I manifestly swiped my Word doc out of the way, and I hit up Google, and I hit Oilers news. And it says, Oilers have acquired Trent Frederick from Boston Bruins, and I'm like, it's Frederick. And you're like, no, it's not Frederick. And I'm like, it's Frederick.
Literally,
hype.
we were hype, and I still am.
And our teacher was looking at us like we're fucking crazy.
He
he's like-
he looks at us and he's like, "Who's Trent Frederick?" And I'm like, "Bitch, you don't know who Trent Frederick is?"
So we had to break it down for him. We're like, he's
Yeah.
big, he's mean, he goes to the net, he can score, he beat up Corey Perry early this year. He's fucking a great ass.
His brother wanted him to come to the Oilers so bad.
Yeah. No, we are very happy Trent Frederick is here. He adds a big element that we're missing in size and physicality.
And Max Jones.
Okay, we'll get to Max Jones.
Okay, sorry.
I'm focusing on Trent Frederick.
Okay, fair.
Because I'm only on that part of the deal.
Okay, fair.
Okay? So don't rush me. We can't rush art.
We are
See, it's
artists.
funny. If I can make her laugh, she starts dying. There we go.
Yep.
So, yeah, no. I think getting Trent Frederick for what we ended up paying, totally fine.
Honestly, I don't hate it, and
Especially
now
given what other things happened
exactly.
on deadline day and prices getting played, giving up a 2nd-round pick, a 4th-round pick, and Max Warner for Trent Frederick, who, again, 29 years old, we could extend him.
Yeah.
If you extend him, this trade just gets all the better.
Exactly. And the fact that we have him at the cap hit that we have him at, I can't remember what it is right now.
3.9? No, that's Wallman. $576K.
Yeah, because
Because double retained.
yeah,
Because we'll get to that part when this is where New Jersey comes in. So Boston eats 50% of Frederick.
yeah.
And then they trade him to New Jersey, who then
Yeah.
eats another 50% of his contract. And then they trade him to us. And in return, we give the Devils the signing rights to prospect Shane LaChance, who was never going to sign here anyway.
Nope.
So we just happened to get something out of him, and that's awesome.
And I think that's fair.
Good work
And
to Bowman.
like seeing the way things went, like as we got closer and closer to the trade deadline, like the more I like this move because I'm like, we didn't overpay. We have him for $575,
Yeah.
and
Which
he can play center, right wing, like basically
Yeah.
wherever you
Well,
need
that's
him
the
to.
thing. People are slotting him in immediately on the third line, as am I, for the start. You put him on your third line center, and like round one or game one of playoffs, your third line right now is Kane, Frederick, and Perry.
100%.
And you just go beat the shit out of the other team
Yeah.
on the first shift.
For sure.
But you could throw him up next to Leon.
I
And
literally
I think
the words you like right out of my mind. That is exactly where I was going to go.
you could throw him up there. He's going to go crash and bang, do pod calls, and ask
Yeah.
to get in front of the net.
Yeah. And as long as he can finish, like that's
Yeah.
literally all I care about.
Some people were upset we gave up Warner in this deal. And to that I say, we have no idea what he's going to be.
Exactly.
You know,
Savoy is the only one that is untouchable.
Absolutely. Bruce Kurlock, great AHL guy. He follows the AHL a lot, and has great like prospect analyst. He said he'll probably be a good NHL player, but like, what is his ceiling? Is it Niemelainen? Is it Lagesson? Is it?
Pularvi?
Well, I'm just thinking of other defensive prospects that were supposed to be good NHL.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is it Philip Broberg? I doubt it. At worst, in my mind, his peak, his ceiling is Michael Kesslering.
That's fair. And
Yeah, okay. Can I sit there and be like, man, I would trade for Kesselring if he's available? Probably. Am I mad that we gave him up for Bukestad? No. Am I mad that Bukestad went back to Arizona? Yeah.
yes.
But I'm not mad at that trade.
No.
I'm just mad at the fact that he went back to Arizona.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ.
Yeah.
And then also in that deal, the Oilers get Max Jones.
Max fucking Jones.
You know what? Please take it away.
Okay. So I was not sure about this guy. All right. I know that he is up and down and consistency is an issue. But then I saw the video of him looking in the Oilers dressing room. And I'm pretty sure they're with, I can't remember his name, but the guy, the Oilers trainer that we all know and love.
TV board? No, like medical guy?
Bald.
No, the guy who does the glove thing.
Yes.
Leon. Yeah, I don't know his name.
I can't remember his name. Anyways, that's our boy. He takes care of our guys. And he says to him, you haven't fucking seen anything yet. And then they walk into the room and he says, oh my God. And he just looks so happy to be here. And I'm like, all right, I like this guy. I like this guy. And then first game and he goes in for Jeff Skinner. And I'm like, literally, Knobloch, what are you doing?
Yeah, that was a
Let
fun
Skinner
text
play.
when she's like, why are we sitting Skinner? I can't believe we're playing, who did we have in the top?
I thought it was Kapanen in for
Yeah,
him. And I was like, you got to be fucking joking me
I'm
right
like,
now.
No, it's not Kapanen. It's Max Jones. And we're both kind of like, we don't know shit about Max Jones, but how
Nope.
the hell is he getting in before Jeff Skinner?
Yep.
Jeff Skinner's done nothing wrong. Free my boy Jeff Skinner. And then...
And then the back check. Oh my God. The back check and the feed to Corey Perry.
Mm-hmm.
That was vintage Corey Perry that we saw.
Oh, man, that was 24-year-old Corey Perry out there just absolutely icing people.
And then the back check. And then the 200-foot game to get back. And the toe drag. And then just the creation of offense. Oh my God. I was sitting on my couch. Jaw was open. And I was like, that's Max fucking Jones. Like, is he the answer? I texted my mom and I was like, I had no idea who this guy was 2 days ago. And now I love him.
Yeah, he had a hell of a debut. He was physical. He was creating offense. He was not scared to pick up the puck.
He was so good.
I loved
Not
his
afraid to shoot it.
No,
Like,
I loved his interview after the game where he's like,
Yeah.
that pass probably isn't something a fourth liner should be doing. But I saw him flying, and I had to try.
I had no idea it was pairs. Like, that's hilarious.
Right? Like, what a guy. And, like, I didn't even realize, like, him and Perry had played in
Me
Anaheim
either.
together.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And we're talking about, guys that we weren't really sure about. How about Cam Dineen, too? He comes up on an emergency basis, and he's playing shifts in overtime?
Also, another text I sent to you because I saw that Bob Stauffer, our boy, the Bob father, says that Klingberg and Ekholm are out. And I said, you have got to be effing kidding me. Montreal is the hottest team in the league right now.
Yeah.
And then Cam Dineen. The fact that he got an overtime shift, my heart was in my stomach.
Yeah, no, you seemed a little nervous about that when I brought it up earlier.
Yeah, but he did so well. I love when I'm pleasantly surprised.
No,
Prove me wrong
100%.
more and more every day because I love it. I love it so much.
How would you grade Bowman's first deadline as the Oilers general manager?
A B-
I think that's fair.
because Trent Frederick, solid. Max Jones, good. Jake Wallman, or what's his name?
Jake Wolf.
Yeah, Jake Wallman, good. I would have liked to see like him bring in another top 6 winger,
Yeah,
like
I mean,
they
yeah,
were talking
that's
about
kind of the thing.
so much.
I think I'm with you on like I'm more of like a BB plus.
Yeah,
Just because I think in terms of defensemen we could have brought in. I think Brandon
I
Carter
know.
was number 1.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people like Jamie Alexiak. I wasn't so much in that train. I think he would have been fine. I just don't think he was as good as many people think. Or maybe I'm underestimating him. I don't know. But I just wasn't like a fan of the name, I guess. Wallman wasn't. I was the Connor Murphy guy.
you were the Connor Murphy guy.
I have
Honestly,
been saying it from semester 1.
he has.
In like December, even early.
I was gonna say like November, like one of our
conversations.
early conversations.
Me and Mac started talking, became friends. Obviously, when like I was talking to one of my other classmates about the Oilers, and you were like, "I'm gonna hop myself in here," and that's how we started talking.
Yep.
And one of those earliest conversations was how I'm like, the Oilers are gonna get Connor Murphy, and like for a while, people were like, "That's stupid. He's old and bad." I'm like, "He's not bad, and his name's Connor."
And I said, "Who the hell is Connor Murphy?"
And I was like, he's an older guy, not older, like 32, plays on the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
But like he plays solid defensive hockey. He's got okay numbers and whatever. I would have loved him. I was the Connor Murphy guy. Jake Wallman is an upgrade on Connor Murphy.
Big time.
He gritties.
And he's -1 or minus.
I didn't look at his stats like
Oh
that.
my God. I've seen it like a million times and now I need to look it up.
Well, yeah, you probably should. You should probably be prepared. Mac, come on.
This is a vibes episode.
I know it's a vibes episode.
Also, I've hit the mic like 6 times with my mouth, so
It's okay.
sorry.
It's all good. There's a couple more trades that are.
Just hold up.
Oh, I'm holding up.
He is -1
the
on a
chart.
bad Sharks team
Yeah.
and -2 for his career. That is
He's played on Detroit and
St. Louis, Detroit, and San Jose.
yeah. So come to
Also, like not great teams.
no. So from scouting report, he eats a lot of pucks.
Yep.
Some places say he plays physical. Others say he doesn't. So I'm going to assume somewhere in between where he's kind of like an Emberson level of physicality.
I would agree.
He's got good legs, good first pass. He's good in the offensive zone, can have defensive lapses at times. But if you put him next to Nurse is going to cover for that.
Yeah. And also 32 points, 6 goals, and 26 assists. Like, again, bad Sharks team, but like still producing.
Yeah.
Like,
He
Like-
made Sider better in Detroit.
yes.
Sider has
Yep.
not been the same since they got rid of him.
Yep.
And that says a lot. So if you can put him with Nurse, and Nurse gets elevated a little bit because of him too, imagine what we have with right now with Nurse, and then just like another half step.
Yep. I agree. So I don't hate giving a first round pick for him.
No, and Connor Berglund, or whatever his name is.
The ECHL prospect that nobody knows.
Yeah, I was online, and all the online people, as like the 4 hours leading up to when we would find out what the return
Literally
is, 'cause
everyone.
They couldn't leak anything. They were, the fans aren't going to like the return. Fans aren't going to like the return. This return will be shot. It's first and a C-level prospect. What do you mean it's going to shock me?
I don't give a fuck about a first round pick, honestly.
No.
You just go to Buffalo and you're like, hey, can I have your first prospect, your best prospect? And they're like, hey, can I have your third line center? And you're like, yeah, sure. And they're like, okay, here's our best prospect.
Yeah, for real. Like, honestly, it's not that big a deal.
Sorry, Buffalo, but that is exactly what happened. So
It is. And look at Savoy. He's producing, or not. Yeah, he's produced a little bit in the few games he's had, and he's looked really good.
assist
Cannot
in
wait to have him
like
next year.
3.
Yeah.
games. Like, that's not bad.
I know we're in the Oilers section. There's just a few more trades slowly rolling in.
Let's hear them.
I guess there's only one that's been updated, and it hasn't given me a return. I still don't have a return on the Brad Marchand trade either, by the way.
Okay, I think I do.
Oh, okay.
If you want to hear it.
Let me do mine really quick because it's really quick.
Okay.
Daniel Sprong is on the move again. He's going from Seattle to the Devils.
Okay.
So he's on his third team this season?
Yeah.
Because he got signed in the offseason by Vancouver.
Yep.
And everyone's like, oh, what a steal. $350,000 for a guy who can score 20 goals. And then he sucked.
Yep.
So he got sent to Seattle, and now he's on the Devils. That's crazy. Daniel Sprong, I'm sorry. What do you have for details? Because I can't find anything.
Okay, so Mike Grinelli from Spit and Chicklets, big Bruins guy.
Yeah, big Bruins guy.
He is the one that kind of stirred the pot on the Sweeney and Swayman stuff, but he's been pretty right about a lot of things this year.
Yep.
So he just tweeted, being told it's just a conditional second for Marchand that could turn into a first.
That's crazy.
That's actually
just
insane.
A second?
For Brad Marchand.
That can't be true. There's got to be more to it, and that's why it hasn't been released yet.
I don't know.
No. You don't do a second for Marchand when you're getting a first and mitten for Carlo.
There's
no way. Also, the other trade is Eric Brandstrom's going back to Buffalo, I think. And Nicholas Andre Kubel is heading to the Rangers.
Yeah, that
I'm pretty
is
sure
nothing.
Brandstrom started in Buffalo. I might be wrong.
I'm sorry. Like, I can't stop thinking about this Florida trade.
She's going to think of it like an ex who got away.
It will be the one that got away. It truly will. Alexa, play The One That Got Away by Katy Perry now,
but
please.
Just wait till he signs with us in the offseason for $6 million.
He won't.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
The only way that happens is if...
Hey, silly season's not over until midnight tonight, okay? The deadline might be over. Silly season isn't over yet.
Okay, then Skinner and Arvidsson both have to go in order to make that work. And
It's
maybe...
a lot easier to move guys with no trade clauses in the offseason than it is at the deadline.
I guess. And then also probably like Janmark.
Okay.
I can't... Also, how did Janmark not get moved this season? Because, at this deadline?
Because everyone loves him. Like, in the room, it's the same reason CC didn't get moved. The room loves him.
I get it. But also at the same time, when you have a breakaway on a penalty kill and 6 feet towards the ice and you try to toe drag and go backhand...
Yeah.
Toe drag to the right, I think, and then go backhand. I'm sorry, and then completely miss the net. You can't be doing that shit.
I just want to point back to the last time, or at least the last real time I remember he had a breakaway was Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final.
I know.
And what did he do there back?
He scored.
Was it a good one?
Yes.
Yeah. So, that was a shitty attempt. I see what the vision was, but he did not execute well.
I know, but
Also, Oilers have announced that Evander Kane will miss the remainder of the regular season. Color me shocked.
What? Who saw that coming?
Whoa. That's so crazy.
They should have announced that a day or two ago and then used his cap space, but what do I know?
Also, I have a theory.
Okay, let's hear it.
Bouchard's been off and on this season.
Yes.
Over the last, I don't know, 9 months, we've gotten rid of his entire friend group. McLeod's gone. Fogel's gone. Holloway's gone. Those 4 were best friends.
I know.
You remember? Did you
The bonk.
The golfing live stream?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a peak.
I know.
And it was those 4.
I know.
That can't be easy for Bouchard. Now, Max Jones and Bouchard played together in London. maybe having a friend is going to help Bouchard. Sometimes you.
I
just need a
understand
friend.
this theory. I understand this theory, and it does make sense, honestly.
I'm just saying, if I had to go through the rest of the school year without like you and Sierra and Kenzie and like a couple other people, I'd be depressed too.
Yeah, that's fair.
My grades would probably drop a little bit. So
Yeah.
sometimes losing your friend sucks. And yeah, you got to be professional. And you
You're
got a job
making
to do.
such a good point. God damn it.
But like, it just, yeah, you got to be professional. You got the job to do. You're making millions. So what? He's like 24 and lost his boys.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure. And like, you look around the room at other people his age. Pod Colson.
Has a baby and a wife.
Yeah. Emberson.
Also married.
Scanner.
Married with with a newborn.
Yeah. Savoy's severely younger.
Yep.
So like, Bouchard's boys are gone.
That's fair. No, it is so weird to think about. Okay, so Bouchard is like 26. He is my age.
Yeah.
Like me and Bouchard are like the same age, which is crazy to think about also.
I hate thinking about that.
Oh.
Where I'm like, man, Connor Bedard is so much younger than me and so much more skilled than my ever will be.
Yeah. I can't think about it because like sometimes I think about like how Connor McDavid is only like a couple of years older than me and it actually like fucks my brain. But the fact that like all the young guys like Podkolzin, Emberson, Stu, married, children, or just married.
Yeah.
And then we have Leon and Connor, where Connor just got married.
Yeah.
Kids, I would assume, are in the near future.
Connor's not doing it till he wins the cup. I
I know.
guarantee it.
I know.
Because he's
So,
little.
so what are you saying right now that they're not going to win this year?
No. That's not what I'm saying.
I'm saying kids near future.
Okay.
So
I was just saying that like my playing is when he wins the cup, he'll have a kid per cup.
I don't see that happening.
No, I
but
know.
okay.
Yeah. A
Okay.
little out there, but no.
And then also Draisaitl doesn't get married until McDavid is married. And they are getting married this summer. And I also see them having kids in like the near distant future. Like I would assume it'll probably be like a couple more years
The
for
reason
them.
why I think Connor's not like I don't think either of them are going to be super soon. Is like Celeste has Lauren has so much going on in her life.
That's
I don't
very
see her,
true.
like taking
Slowing
time
down.
off.
Yeah.
Her clothing brand is just coming up. She's got that bar she's building.
Yeah.
Like I understand.
She's
that
got 3 businesses on the go.
Yeah,
Like that's kind
I
of
understand
crazy.
They could absolutely just hire someone, but I thought they wouldn't do that.
I can't see
I could see them waiting till like 30.
well, they are almost 30.
Okay, like 35. Yeah, damn, you can't do that to me. You're 28. Your
Yeah.
father's 28.
Yeah.
Ah.
I think Lauren is for sure like a couple months older than him.
Yeah.
Because
for
she
sure.
said that on their first date that he was underage in Ontario. So she had to go buy the bottle of wine because he
That's hilarious.
legally couldn't, which was kind of funny.
That's a great story. Atta
Very,
Connor.
right? Okay, we are getting like so off track here.
I know. I was just going on about Boucher.
But I understand where you're coming from with that.
Okay, so do we just go into like, I guess, Habs? We beat them overtime.
Played well. That was
Did
crazy.
you hear that noise?
Yes.
Okay, there was a noise outside the studio.
Very good game.
Absolutely, Skinner, best game in a long time.
Yes.
And
He was locked in.
He was not just locked in. He was mad locked in.
Yeah.
Like you could tell the way he was spearing pucks. Like he was just like, I'm mad. Fuck you, puck.
Yeah. And you know what? I love it.
I love it.
it.
Little angry Stu.
Yep.
Kid's been keeping him up. He's pissed.
Probably.
Yeah, like we said, Max Jones, Cam Dineen, excellent games.
Yeah.
Kapanen, I think, was fine. Perry had a really good game.
Perry
Again,
was great.
That again, 24-year-old hand, silky smooth, woo woo, roofed it.
But then
You
his
could
legs.
not get that puck any higher on that net.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
His legs make him look like he's 40 though.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
Listen, he's got the 40-year-old legs, 24 fucking year old hands.
Yeah. Whatever.
And when he puts himself in front of the net and he just whoop-a-dee-ba-dee-ba-dee,
Yep.
whoop,
It
that's
works.
all that matters.
It works. Also some really good looks from Hyman, Nuge. Arvidsson had a good game as well. He had some good looks.
Yeah, you'd like.
It's
Arvidsson
still
to finish on
hard
one,
because he can't finish.
but, yeah, our teacher just looked in at
Yeah,
us.
I can't tell if he's. No, I don't think he's coming back.
I guess if he comes in, you guys will get to hear our teacher, Dave Sawchuk.
I don't think he's coming back.
Okay.
Anyways,
Maybe I shouldn't have just said his phone. Whatever.
he's well known enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it was a really good game, and
Yep.
there were definitely chances for to win it. Like McDavid hitting the post on a complete empty net by a sick feed by Nuge.
Yep.
But I really liked the lineup last night.
Yep.
And it's only going into it, you sent me "put me out of my misery" in all caps when you saw Ekholm and Klingberg or whoever the hell was out.
Yeah, Ekholm and Klingberg.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so going in, we're like, oh, what are these lines gonna look like?
I was genuinely like down bad because I was just like, Montreal have won 5 in a row. They are one of the best teams coming out of the break. We can't seem to get our shit together. We can't play well defensively for like Stu. So I was just like down bad.
You were down bad.
Yep.
And then I distracted you with the Wallman stuff.
Yep. And then I was like, oh my God, I love this guy that gritties and posts TikToks.
That's just such a I'm a girl response.
Oh, seriously.
I'm just a girl.
I am just a girl. And if he does the gritty and posts a silly TikTok, I love him.
No. Next jersey?
If he scores a shootout winner and gritties in the blue and orange, I will buy his jersey.
Oh, yeah. Someone in my Discord that I have open just posted a possible Stanley Cup playoff night 1 lineup. And I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, Hyman. Henrique, Draisaitl, Arvidsson. Podkolzin, Frederick, Kane. Jones, Janmark, Perry. Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Wallman, Kulak, Emberson. Skinner, Pickard.
I don't know if I like the Draisaitl line.
Well, who is it? Just the Henrique being up there?
Honestly, like it's not like it's either Henrique or Arvidsson. Like not both. So in my mind, I put Henrique, Jeff Skinner.
I think you could hear me out. You go. Also, shout out Losh for putting us in there. You're a homie. I would go.
He better listen.
He does.
Okay, cool.
He's the
Hi,
one who
Losh.
told me that our mics have been weird last episode. That they were quiet.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
shout out Losh. Great. Loyal. That's it. Loyal listener. So Nuge, McDavid, Hyman. You go. Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Arvidsson. Or do I? No. I don't know how I like that. I want a line of Jones, Frederick, Kane is what I'm trying to get to. So I guess that would then go Henrique or Janmark, Henrique, Perry. That's not so bad.
Okay, what if we do this? We do Henrique, Draisaitl, Jeff Skinner.
Well, Skinner's not even in this line. Are you just trying, or is just Arvidsson out of the lineup now?
Arvidsson out.
Okay.
Goodbye. I told you I'm holding a grudge against him.
Jeff Skinner also didn't waive his no move clause.
Yeah, well, at least he's producing.
At least
and
Arvidsson's in the lineup
He's not falling over every shift.
because he's sitting in the press box in his shoes. And his
Because
popcorn.
Knobloch hates him.
Yeah.
Okay, we are getting distracted.
No, I'm just riling you.
Yeah, I
up.
know.
It's funny.
I know. And I don't have the voice to get riled up
I
right
know,
now.
It's so funny.
Anyways,
I can't
okay.
wait to watch you chug your Buckleys after this.
Oh, it's empty.
Oh,
Oh, that
God.
shit is so gone. Anyways, okay, so Henrique, Draisaitl, Jay Skinner,
Okay.
and then I'm saying Kane, Frederick, Perry,
Yeah, I'm okay
For
with that
third.
too.
and then I'm saying Brown, Janmark, and Savoy. Or
So you're taking
or-
both Podkolzin and Jones out of
oh
the
wait,
lineup.
no, I meant to put Jones in there. Jones on that fourth line.
And so Podkolzin's out.
Yep. And Arvidsson. Bye.
I wouldn't be taking out Podkolzin.
if it's
I
like
can
one
underst-
game, who cares?
Well, sure, for one game, but I'm talking like night one of the Stanley. This is like the roster you're trying to run. But
Yeah.
I understand this is also Knobloch, and the blender will be out after the third shift.
The blender literally gives me like PTSD or like nightmares, honestly.
I know because like the blenders of the past were blenders. Okay, there's two different main reasons I think the blender works with Nobby. One, either other blenders were just trying to put McDavid and Draisaitl together,
Yeah.
and the rest of the lines were just whatever.
Yeah.
And Nobby has a little more purpose with his blender. But also, B, none of the other coaches had this level of depth to do the blender with.
Yeah, that's fair.
You can put McDavid and Draisaitl together, and you're still running out a second line of like Henrique, Nuge, Hyman.
Yeah. And also,
If you put McDavid and Draisaitl together in 2017, your second line was like Jake Chason, Kara, and Nuge.
yeah. And like also,
What is that? What's that?
yeah. And I do respect the blender like a little bit more because it does make all of these guys be familiar with one another
Yeah.
and be ready to play with one another at all times, which I do like and I respect. But at the same time, it stresses me out like bad.
True. You know, I think we're actually like running long here.
I
It is 2:30.
don't doubt that one bit.
We can't actually see our monitor because we're in a different studio today.
Yeah.
Just because we're filming a little later and our normal studio was taken. So I'm just
Thanks,
assuming.
thirds.
Yeah, right. Thanks, thirds.
Thirds. Anyways, okay, let's do like a quick prediction for Dallas.
Quick for Dallas.
That's who
Oh,
we
the
play
game.
next.
I thought, yeah. They're gonna have Rantanen in.
Yep.
I could see him popping off, or I could see him sucking. It just depends on what I want to manifest. So we're gonna go. He sucks, and Dallas is all disjointed.
I hope so.
And Otter gets his arm run over by a truck.
Hey, we do not
No,
wish for
okay.
players to be hurt on this
A
podcast.
metaphorical truck.
Also, my mom just texted me Marchand to Florida with 2 question marks. So I'm going to have
T-Mac's
to.
mom.
Yeah,
Just tell listen to the podcast. It's all explained.
that's so true.
Then anyway, you don't have to relive it. No, you're right. Otter, I hope you don't get run over by a truck.
But I do
just
hope you
hope-
have a bad game.
I hope you're just like, your arm hurts just a little bit. Just like you wake up with like sleep pain. Like
Or
you
how
stop
about
moving
you
weird.
just like be like, hey, I wish you have an off game.
Well, yeah, but like, if his arm has a little twinge, he could have an off game because of it. I'm not asking for him to be like injured.
Anyways,
Okay, let's go.
Stuart Skinner revenge tour continues, I hope.
Yeah. Do you want a score prediction? Or you just like want?
You can do a score prediction, but I will not be doing a score prediction.
Give me. Give me 5-3 Oilers.
Okay.
I'm scared of Robo and Hintz.
Yep, same.
Hintz lights us up.
And Wyatt Johnson.
And Johnson.
Or Johnston. Whatever the
Whatever.
frig. Yeah.
But-
I'm scared of all of Dallas right now, so
I think
Yeah.
Wallman comes in and gets like 2 points. Somehow.
I hope so. I hope so. And then we get to see the gritty,
But he only does it when he scores in overtime.
I guess.
So
I just want to see it so bad.
I know, but you need him to be on the ice in overtime and score,
I know.
which
I know.
isn't a problem when he was in like these other teams because he was the first guy over the boards. He was their offensive defenseman.
Yeah.
We have Boosh.
Yeah.
So he'd have to go out there with the second unit of like Nuge and Hyman.
Yeah.
Which is still a good unit to go out there with, but
Very much so. So
I do hope we get to see an orange and blue gritty though.
I
really
pray.
do. God,
I pray.
that would make my life.
I never thought we would spend so much time talking about the gritty on this
But
podcast,
we got
but
Jake Wallman,
here
so
we are.
Here we are, and I think also here we go.
Here we fucking go, baby.
Did we wrap it up? I think we're wrapping up.
Yeah, I think we wrap it up.
Okay, great. Thanks for listening to our deadline episode. I'm sorry it's later this week. Just some scheduling stuff, and with the deadline, we thought it might be fun to do it
Yeah.
post deadline, and give our reactions and our takes. So hope you guys enjoyed. Mac, you wanna take it away?
Yeah. Also, I just want to say I was sick. I sounded worse than this.
Oh,
if
she
you can
sounded so bad. No,
if
she
you can
was
imagine it.
So bad.
So
I think she might have had the plague.
honestly, like I don't know. Yeah. But you know what? Tell your Who do we want to tell right now?
We gotta find new wells.
Tell your plumber. Tell your
Been there before. I feel like we go to the.
tell your telemarketer, like the random
there you go.
the random phone call that
Yeah.
you get from the random number. Answer it and tell them to listen to Blue Line Banter.
That's a good one.
Also, we have some really cool audio production elements that we're adding in. So
Yeah, I mean, you should have already heard. at
you
least
would
two
have
of them.
heard 2 of them, and now you're going to hear our third.
Yeah,
So you're welcome.
Shout out to our classmates who helped us with these.
Yeah.
We didn't
You
ask
guys-
them to. They just did it.
Yeah.
Because they love us and we're amazing.
And they're the
just-
best ever.
They're the best ever. So let us know what you think. We are trying to find a way to incorporate video
Yep.
and have you guys be able to see us. But we're finding some challenges along the way, especially now with adding audio elements. We need visual elements to go with them.
But also, I think it's kind of fun that everybody has to make up what we look like in their own minds if you don't know us in real life.
True.
So I kind of enjoy that aspect because
I do, but I've
yeah.
had a few people request some video for the YouTube.
That's fair.
So, and I think that
It is better.
It
It
is
is better.
there's good, better, and best, and that's
Yeah.
best.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
We're going to work on. Bear with us because neither of us are graphic designers, but we're going to work on some graphic stuff.
And there's a reason we ain't in TV.
Yeah, there's
So
a reason we're on radio. But we're always just trying to make this thing better for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I hope to see you again next week. Tell your I had a really good one. Tell your tour guide,
nice.
because then they can tell everyone else they take on a tour.
All right, we're dragging out this goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Make sure to subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music.